if ever there's a person to fly under the radar in the mainstream press, it's this guy. Swiss Ludwig Minelli, in his sphere of work, was getting to become as famous as the cuckoo clock or that Alpine chocolate Toblerone.
Yeah.
Even though isn't really Swiss, but anyway.
Yeah.
Let's pretend it is.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was doing this right up until Saturday gone. He was the founder and CEO of Dignitas.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And very unlike Victor Kayam. Remember Victor Kayam?
The guy of the razors, really.
That's right, in the 70s.
Yeah.
He liked the product so much he bought the company.
Yeah.
Well, our friend Minelli liked his company so much he bought the product.
Oh right.
And after an injection here and an injection there, he was able to die with dignity,
Mm-hmm.
just short of his 93rd birthday.
All right.
Now, one could argue that at 92 years of age, one wouldn't need to have that much assistance in the dying process.
Mm.
A short fall down a flight of stairs might have been enough. But, I digress about that.
Yeah. I should laugh, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But it does seem to be a bit odd that a guy whose business it was to help people die lived to be such a ripe old age.
Mm.
Um, he must have woken up every day smelling of roses with a real zest for life, you know.
Yeah.
But he was living off the backs of the depressed and terminally ill. Right? Still, he had to go out on his own terms and fly the brand name flag whilst doing so.
Yeah.
What is surprising to me is the very low-key reaction to this by the press and indeed the Veritas website, sharing only around 5 lines of text to announce the end of its founder. It was very, very subdued. Even given for the subdued excitement of the Swiss, it got even less headlines than when Nestle put their price of the yogurt sub. This, of course, could explain the man's presence when he was alive. He might have been a very reserved individual despite his profession. And now, will Dignitas continue to thrive from the death of others, or will it slowly grind to a chloroformed halt without the expertise of its founder?
Right. Okay. Right. Interesting point. I must admit, I did not hear this piece of news. Yeah, I know.
Hardly anybody did, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, I
The
must
the
admit. Yeah,
the I had to search Swiss press,
yeah,
even the Veritas
yeah,
website,
yeah.
and I think France 24 had it on there.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I've said my views about suicide before. Obviously, from a point of view of openly a Catholic, and also, my own my own beliefs and everything else. And I know suffering and everything else. And yeah, this is not what this podcast is about. We've done that before. But yeah, it's strange. You've just informed me. I'm okay. Fair play to the guy. He went out. He wasn't hypocritical about it. He went out, yeah, using the product that he stood by, he earned by. I mean that is the problem I have. Individuals are earning money on other people's misery directly, but that is the problem I do have with it. Yeah, I mean, if it was something possibly offered by the state, I'd go, well, I'd still have big problems with it. I'd have a lot of problems with it, but yeah, it wouldn't be one individual effectively. I'm not going to say committing murder because that's not true, but yeah, doing something I consider in the realms of not being ethical. But that's no slight on anyone or any of his relatives or anyone else. You know, that's a belief, and I'll make that clear. Yeah, that's a personal belief, not anything against anyone. Um, yeah, I mean, funny enough, I was in London one day. I was in a museum. I believe it's a science museum, and they actually have a suicide machine there, probably from the 70s, the 80s, experimental one or something. Yeah, which is a bit strange to see in England, in the UK. Yeah, because it still isn't legal in the UK. Um, I still believe, is it a grey area for people to actually fly to another country for the purposes of ending their or a relative's life? I don't know. I'm not totally au fait with the law about that. Um, but yeah, really, really not something that's I say would come on my radar personally. Yeah,
Yeah. What surprised me about this,
yeah,
two things. First off, he was a very old man.
yeah.
92 years old is quite old
Well, yeah,
on anybody's books,
good innings, good innings in
right?
cricket. Yeah.
Right. And the second thing is that I was always led to believe that people who went to Dignitas had to be terminally ill, or
Mm,
they had to be, they had to have a really good reason of them wanting to die. And it seemed like this guy did it on a whim. He just decided, look, 92 years old, I'm heading up for my 93rd birthday. I've not died yet.
mm,
Before I start becoming senile,
yeah.
let's do this thing,
Well,
which sort of goes against the ethos of the Dignitas thing.
yeah. Well, it's it is strange, like you said. I thought that they're the same as you. I mean, I've heard people have got young people, yeah, much younger than ourselves, who have had so-called well, I'll be careful how I word this, had mental issues or believe they had mental issues. Which again, I believe if people do suffer internally, that could be a failing of society for various different reasons. Um, but again, I think we've done this in a podcast before. You know, various different people, young people, invariably do suffer some form of insecurities. People in their 20s do all the time. When you get to our age, we've gone through every bit of insecurity there is and just think, oh, stuff it now. Um, yeah, it's yes, it does seem strange. Perfectly healthy individual, compos mentis, yeah, have everything, well, still have everything going for them. Um, I mean, my father-in-law is 103 years old. Um, he's not going to run a marathon next week. You know, he's on a frame and all that, but very, very happy. He knows that. He loves his family being around there. He's got well, I say everything to live for. Comes on, doesn't bother with the news anymore. I think he just thinks, seen it all by now. Yeah, just puts music on. Um, Probably a lesson for us all there. Listen to more music and less news. But it he is but it's um, his quality of life is still good. He likes his food. He likes to eat. He goes to sleeps. Yeah, quite a lot. Gets up, eats again, interacts with people around him, the family that go in there, and anyone else.
A bit
Yeah.
like our guinea pigs. They
So,
eat a lot, go to sleep, wake up, eat more, go back to
well,
sleeping.
well, yeah, yeah. I mean, why not? You know. Yes, you do the cycle, don't you? Really? But yeah, the guinea pigs. Yeah, food. I mean, yeah, that's it. What do dogs do? They show you. They show you affection. But yeah, they eat and sleep. Cats are even better at that. Um, but yeah, you just you live your life. I mean, you could argue the fact the guy was thinking like that was he a little bit mentally unstable?
Well, they would
Um,
have had what the Dignitas guy.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure they would have had that argument when he thought of the idea up in the first place.
Mm. I mean, again, we don't know about his family. I mean, you've got limited facts about it all. Yeah, it does seem very strange. Um, it's or maybe the the ethical side of it has finally reached him, and he's gone, what have I been doing? Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, in his will, we should leave this over to the state, maybe. Yeah. Um, I mean, if it's legal to operate, which again, I mean, my I'm going to get back to it, and this is what I've always thought about it. To take away the spiritual side of it, away from the argument. Okay, I mean, that's my main thing. But um, if you got, even if you got individuals who had the ability to end life in a state, yeah, I mean, I said hand it over to the state. The problem with that is um, the state could then decide who lives and who dies. I know I've got it in America, but you understand what I'm saying with this, yeah? They,
I think to a certain degree, the state already does this. The NHS already does this. They know they're going to try and save the ones who've got more chance to live
yeah,
than those that
well,
don't. You know,
well,
it's when that's, they have the conversation with the family.
yeah, I've had relatives who've gone peacefully, like that. You know, the family has said, well, they tell the family we've done all we can do.
Mm.
If I come from a Catholic family, it's in the hands of God now, or whatever else you might say. Um, yeah, I appreciate not everyone's Christian or has faith, but yeah, sometimes you just have to say, yeah, the other extreme is it ethical to keep going and prolong a life that is effectively over, especially with the elderly. Um, I think it's Steve Jobs says the idea of death is to clear away so that other things can come into growing. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I'll get to this. Yes, it does worry me that if anyone just decides that's it, I'm really down, and this has always been my argument. Yeah, can we investigate? Why do you feel down? Okay, we all got money problems and things like this. Take that away, but um, yeah, if you're not happy with your life, you try and change it so you are somehow. That's always been my argument. Why aren't I happy? Why am I caught with this? How can I make myself happy? Okay, it's not going to happen. Maybe trying to change your life is just the motivation you need to actually find and discover something else. And that's how life should be, whatever age you are. Um, if you're in your 90s and you're still healthy, walking about and everything, God has, or whatever, has given you that opportunity to do that. Do some good with it. Um, yeah, maybe visit old people's homes to say, look at me, I'm all right. You know, keep going, guys. Yeah.
Be careful because that could be classed as canvassing.
Well, you know, yeah, I know what I just said there. I don't understand what you're saying, but yeah, yeah, but yeah, let's keep going. Um, again,
Well, the guy certainly did until he was 92, and which is, it's just really interesting that the owner of Dignitas made it to 92 and decided to cancel his 93rd birthday. There you are.
maybe you couldn't afford it. Yeah,
Hey, let's look at the books.
yeah, yeah.